Alright, y'all, so I'm here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 10, episode 5. We picked up right where we left off from last week with the continuation of Kim versus Kenya at Nene's house. So, Kim getting up, acting like she really about to do some shit to Kenya or whatever. And, the girls are trying to hold her back. And then Croy comes to try to calm her down and everything. And the next thing you know, she throws some shit in Kenya's direction or whatever. Now, had I been Nene, I would have went the hell off on Kim, because it's like, fuck what the both of y'all got going on right now. You're not about to sit up here and disrespect my house by throwing some shit that your ass didn't motherfucking pay for. And Nene going to sit up here and talk about something. Oh, it's okay. We could clean it up. It wouldn't have been me. Her ass would have been cleaning it up, if anything. Okay? Anyway, so, Cynthia, she's telling, Kenya, she's telling Kenya, you shouldn't even have let her, take you there and everything. Cynthia, she's not the one for really, bringing kids into the situation, but she understands why Kenya kind of went there, because Kim kept on picking. You know what I'm saying? And, Nene, she's like, now, I ain't hear everything that happened, but I think that Kim did egg Kenya on. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, you can't be sitting up here on the social media talking about your daughter sucking some dick for some John Legend tickets. Like, the music ain't that good. Like, I'll just, sit at home and listen to the CD, if anything. So, Nene goes outside to check up on Kim or whatever, this, that, and the third. And Kim is like, no, because you don't talk about my kid. You don't talk about my kid. Kim, stop acting like as if you didn't start this shit. You kept on saying slick slash shit under your fucking breath. Kenya tried to ignore that shit 3 times. And then when she hit below the belt, oh, you don't like it. When you are in an argument, and listen, it might have not been right for Kenya to go there or whatever, but when you're in an argument with somebody, it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you should never started the shit with her. And, shit, Brielle grown. Brielle ain't that much younger than, she ain't that much younger than me. She only, a couple of years younger than me. So, I can give a fuck. Fuck Kim and fuck Brielle. Okay? Like, whatever. So, anyways, Kenya comes outside and Kim's still trying to get at her or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, Kenya is like, oh, the girl that put you in your place or something like that, she said. She was like, carry on now. So, like I said, I'm on Kenya's side with that shit. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. But anyways, so then we get to Portia's house or whatever, and, Portia wasn't invited to Nene's party, so, she was looking at wigs with, her sister Lauren for, their shop, and she, hears the doorbell ring, and she's like, who's that at the door or whatever, and it's Kim, Sheree, and Croy, and, Kim, she's like, she trying to sit up here and act like as if she really was about to beat Kenya's ass. I'm like, you won't about to do shit. Okay? And, Kim, she's sitting up here adding extra shit to the story, talking about some, Kenya, sitting up here talking about some, I pimped out my daughter for, John Legend tickets, for my injured son and everything. I think, her son had got injured. Was it by their dog or something like that? I forgot what the situation was, but I do remember seeing something about her son getting injured or whatever. But yeah, Kenya didn't even add that part in. The only thing that she said was the shit that she said about Brielle that you put up on social media. She ain't say nothing about your injured son. Like, you really, I was like, oh my God, Kim is really sitting up here lying like that though? But anyways, so, Sheree, she in her confessional talking about some, well, I ain't hear Kenya say that, but, maybe my memory is escaping me. You didn't hear her say it because she didn't say it, Sheree. Like, come the fuck on now. And I'm mad that Sheree just let Kim sit up here and tell that lie like that. So, Portia, she's sitting up here telling Kim to stay away from Kenya because, she'll try to make you seem like you crazy or whatever for going off on her and da-da-da. So then we're back at Nene's house or whatever. And Cynthia's like, well, listen, Kenya was on her best behavior tonight. And Nene is like, Kenya was on her best behavior. And like, Kenya is like, listen, Brielle has said something about me first on social media and everything. And I do remember that. And, she was like, I didn't even respond. But now your mom's stepping in, saying some shit. Now I got to take some action. And, Cynthia is pretty much taking up for Kenya as a friend should when your friend is in the right. And Nene, I hate when Nene does this shit. She's like, I feel like Cynthia is not woke when it comes to Kenya and everything. And I'm like, girl, what? Like, she taking up for her friend because her friend was actually in the right. And you sitting up here like, I can't. And we gonna, of course, get more of that, as we go through this video. So then we get Candy. She's back from New York and everything. And, she's in the studio with Don Juan. And she's, telling Don that, Sheree said that she had something to tell me. So, I'm waiting for her to come over here. And Don is like, well, if it's Sheree, we got to get another opinion because she don't always come back with the accurate information. And what I tell y'all last week, I told y'all, Sheree, when, Kim was trying to say she ain't a bone carrier, Sheree, a few years ago lied on Candy and said that Candy had said that comment about the black babies or whatever when it really was Cynthia who said that shit. And they flashed back to that shit this episode to prove that Sheree does not always bring back accurate information. But anyways, so Sheree comes and everything, and, Dawn is telling Sheree what she said, and Sheree is like, I always come back with accurate information, this, that, and the third. So she's telling about, Kim and Kenya, and then she trying to say the same bullshit that Kim told Portia. And, and then, Kim jumped up or whatever. And Dawn is like, nah, I don't think Kenya would say nothing like that about the son or whatever. And, Sheree is like, well, I didn't hear that part. And Candy is like, well, did anybody else hear it? And Sheree, of course, couldn't say, you know what I'm saying? And, she's asking her about Portia, like how you feel about Portia and everything. And Candy just feels like she could be cordial with her at this point, for the group's sake or whatever. And, that's when Sheree tells her about, her life coach and her, planning a trip to San Francisco. And, Candy is not too sure about it because she doesn't like some of Sheree's friends. And, Sheree is like, well, I invited Kim and Kenya before this whole debacle happened, you know what I'm saying? And that's when Candy was like, well, shit, I don't want to miss this, so maybe I should go. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to miss seeing them go at it. So she decides that she's going to go. Then we get a quick scene with Cynthia and Noelle. Noelle was supposed to be moving to Charlotte, but now she's kind of rethinking it because she wants to live her life first before, pretty much committing to the guy that she was with. So I guess they pretty much broke up because he's like, it's either all or nothing, but her thing is, if they meant to be together, then maybe, sometime down the road, they'll be together and everything. Of course, Cynthia is relieved because she didn't really want her to go and everything. And I'm like, shit, Noelle 17 talking about, moving with, this young man or whatever. But, once again, like I said, she decided, that that's probably not the best thing to do and everything. And, Cynthia's pretty much telling her about Will and how they just taking things one day at a time. So then we get Nene and Greg, her and Greg are outside. He's doing much better. They changed his medication and he's talking about how he had to take, 9 to 11 prescriptions. And Nene, she acting all shocked. And I'm like, you don't know how much medication your husband was taking? Like, I'm just saying, but he's saying how it was causing him bad side effects that really wasn't helping his situation. But things are getting better for him day by day. And I'm glad to hear that. Nene is telling him about the San Francisco trip, but she's not sure if she should go and just leave him there by himself. And he's like, listen, I want you to go. I want you to have a good time. I'll be all right. And plus, Brent is here. So then we have Kenya. Her grandma who raised her, her dad's mom, passed away. She had Alzheimer's. And she showed, well, Cynthia, she comes to pretty much comfort her and everything, and she's showing like this video of, her grandma. I think she was like in the hospital or whatever, and how her grandma was talking about how she raised Kenya, and how she didn't want her to be in the adoption process or whatever, so she took her in and everything. And Mark met her grandma like a month after they got married. And Kenya is not too sure about the San Francisco trip because she has to make the arrangements, of course, for her grandma or whatever. And I felt bad for Kenya in this moment because we all know that her grandma took care of her since she was a baby and everything. And I know that has to be a hard feeling, losing somebody who pretty much raised you. So yeah, my heart goes out to Kenya on that. So anyways, then we get Nene and Marlo. They're at Nene's house, and she's telling Marlo about the San Francisco trip, and she invites Marlo. So Marlo is going to be a surprise. And Nene is like, listen, I love Cynthia, that's like my sister and everything, but she's super supportive of Kenya. And Marlo is like, oh Lord, don't tell me you jealous, you know what I'm saying? Because Marlo reminiscing, she having some flashbacks when her and Nene went through it because she became close to Kenya and everything. So Nene claims that she's not jealous or whatever, but she feels like Cynthia speaks for Kenya and blah blah blah. And Marlo, she asked about Portia. She's like, are you comfortable being around Portia and everything? And Nene claims that she is. And she's like, I mean, can I speak to her? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I say, hey? I'm like, if you gotta ask permission to speak to somebody, then maybe y'all don't need to be friends. Because I'd be damned if I ask my friend, oh, can I speak to somebody? Like I ain't grown too. Child, I can't. But anyways, I guess Marlo feel like shit. I lost Nene once. I don't want to lose her again. But, Nene tells her that it's okay for her to speak to Portia and everything. And, she being melodramatic, talking about how Portia said the door was closed, which she did say that. But the way Nene was saying this, she was acting like as if Portia was yelling it out. Like, the door is closed! The door is closed! Like, doing all of that shit. Portia ain't even do all that. You know what I mean? So we're finally at the trip. Everybody is meeting up at the airport. Portia gets there first. Then Candy. She's greeting Sheree, and Portia is like, oh, you packed good or whatever, and Candy walked right past her ass, ain't pay her ass no mind. And Portia is in her confessional like, she's not there yet, and it's okay. Portia. Like, really, like, come on now, But anyway, so Kim is not coming because she felt like it would be too much considering her and Kenya just got into it. Cynthia, she shows up, and they're not sure if Nene and Kenya are going to make it, but they do end up making it. They made it at the very last minute. They're on the little bus or whatever riding through San Francisco, and Sheree is talking to them about the life coach, and Nene, she's sitting up here talking about I would be a good life coach because I'm gonna give you that real. I'm gonna tell you that real. You know what I'm saying? And don't come to me unless you want to hear the truth, unless you don't want to hear the truth or whatever. And pretty much she's shading Portia as she's saying that shit, of course. And they talk about the last time everybody done had sex. Portia claims it's been 5 months, and everybody starts busting out laughing, including Candy. And she's like, "What? Why y'all laughing like that?" And they like, I mean, nothing. We don't believe you, but And then Sheree says the last time she had some was last year, and they all like, wait a minute, like, with who? And, Nene is like, oh, wait a minute. because you love somebody. You love somebody. And, you know, Kenya is like, okay, so you are attracted to somebody that you're not having sex with or can't have sex with or something like that along the lines that she was saying. And, oh, the first thing that Kenya just so happens to say is, are they incarcerated? And we know that the guy that Sheree is messing with is in jail. And, you know, Sheree says yes and everything. And, you know, she's like, Nene, you know him. It's Tyrone. And they flash back to a few years ago when Nene and Sheree had got into it about the Trump checks and all this other bullshit. And they lost contact for like 4 years and everything, and they were together at one point, but they went away and she didn't even know. I think she was saying they broke up like before he had went away and everything, and whatever. So we're finally at the destination at the hotel, and Nene goes to Marlo's hotel room, and you know Marlo has on like this lingerie slip type of thing. So Nene is like, "Girl, get dressed. It's cold outside." And Marlo is like, "Girl, I am dressed." Marlo is something else. But anyway, so you know, Nene is sitting up here still talking about the fact that Cynthia and Kenya are close. Like, you know, Cynthia has Kenya and Marlo has me, or I have Marlo, and this, that, and the third. So everybody is showing up to the dinner. Nene shows up with Marlo, surprising everybody, and Sheree is like, I didn't say Nene could bring a +1, but maybe it's a good idea because it seemed like when Marlo is around, we get some truth to come out of the group. So, you know, whatever. Next, you know, we immediately get into, you know, Portia not being invited to Nene's event. And Nene is like, first of all, don't be calling my name and this, that, and the third, because last time I saw her, the door was closed. And Portia, you know, she's like, I mean, yeah, that's true. But, you know, I just wanted to know why you were angry with me. And Nene, she thinks it's the other way around. She feels like Portia was angry with her. And, Nene brings up, you know, what Portia had said about her on Dish Nation. And Portia's like, oh, so you are mad. And then Nene's like, no, you mad. And then Portia's like, so you upset. And, you know, Nene is like, so you upset. They using all the synonyms in the world to describe being mad. Okay? And using it back and forth with one another. So, Portia has said, you know, no, Nene has said, you know, well, look who's in anger management or whatever. And Portia is like, well, you need to be. I was like, oh, you know, Nene is still trying to deny that she said the word fire against Portia or whatever. And, you know, now Nene all of a sudden trying to have Phaedra's back after she said that Phaedra should be fired too. Talking about well, you took food off of Phaedra's plate or whatever, this, that, and the third, because she's the only one who ain't here or whatever. And Portia is like, we all are responsible for our own actions. And Nene is like, we are. And Candy, she in her confessional like, I know Portia ain't the one to talk about actions and shit. And I'm like, Candy, Hirsch, this ain't your fight, you know. So, Nene is like, you know, I helped you stay here when you and Kenya had your situation. This, that, and the third. And, you know, they both talking about building each other up just to tear each other down. And Nene is telling, you know, Portia, like, oh, you don't remember what you said on Dish Nation? You don't remember what you said? Roll the tapes back. And, you know, the producers, they had no problems of rolling the tapes back of what Portia had said on Dish Nation. And, you know, Kenya, she's trying to intervene and actually side with Nene by saying, listen, Portia, you know, when that whole situation went down between me and you, Nene is pretty much the only one who had your back or whatever. And I'm like, what? Y'all forgetting about Candy, because Candy had her back too, and which Candy had kind of threw in there a little, you know, as the conversation, well, as the argument was going on. But, you know, Kenya couldn't even really get her complete thought out because Nene starts being sarcastic and is like, no, I never had her back. I tried to get her fired. Y'all know how Nene do all of this and all the shit that she be doing, the dramatics. So, you know, Nene's still screaming like, I never tried to get you fired, bitch, and da-da, this, that, and the third, and, you know, I had your back, we had your back, and da-da, and everything, and, you know, Nene is like, you deserve some discipline for what you did to Candy, and Portia is like, so, you fighting Candy's battles now, and everything, and they both, like, fuck each other, and, it's another continuation, so we got to see how the rest, we got to wait to see till next week, how the rest of this shit plays out. But Nene was getting on my nerves this whole episode. Kim was getting on my nerves too, because, you know, with her bullshit in the beginning. But Nene was getting on my fucking nerves. And I see that she's going to continue to irk my nerves on next week's episode. So it's just like, y'all know how Nene do. You know, she always got to fucking yell and everything and overtalk somebody, you know what I mean, just to make it seem like she right. And I hate when she gets into that mode. I hate when she gets into this mode, and I hate when she gets into this mode of being so territorial over her friends. But that was the episode, you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.